of our activities today are shaped and empowered by information technologies. In particular, decisional processes are progressively supported by AI tools using big data that represent the raw material to develop AI algorithms. In this context, it is particularly challenging from a moral point of view to consider the use of AI in medicine and in general in all those sectors concerning human health. Indeed, many issues arise here, from the creation of guidelines in accordance to the policies of international health organizations, to the criticalities related to transparency and trustworthiness of AI algorithms and data and privacy protection. Digital health and digital medicine can be defined in many different ways. In any case, there are mainly 4 areas of application: the process of health monitoring, the tools supporting diagnosis, the application of predictive algorithms for treatment, and those applications used in the context of public health. For example, today a common use of the so-called smartwatches and mobile phone apps is to track our physical activities and monitor our health conditions by using geolocalization sensors and the analysis of interaction between users and these devices. Other examples are the instrumentation of homes with tools not only to monitor the health of their residents, mainly elderly people, but also to stimulate them to improve both their physical and social activities. A particularly promising case is the use of AI for diagnosis. Machine learning algorithms are very efficient in the analysis of clinical and radiological images, sometimes even better than humans. Those results show the possibility to automatize the diagnosis process in an efficient way. The goal is to improve diagnostic accuracy, decrease the workload for specialists, and potentially widen the number of people that can be reached by prevention policies. At the same time, many ethical issues arise, and most of them cannot be framed in terms of traditional conceptual frameworks, such as duty ethics or utilitarianism. Today, the most debated ethical topics are 3. The first one considers issues related to privacy and data protection. The second one concerns the application of machine learning tools to different medical fields. The third one is connected to the transparency of the processes and result of AI algorithms. Let's start with the issues of privacy and data protection. Digital medicine is based on the possibility to collect, store, analyze, and distribute a large amount of data. These practices raise several difficulties. The first is that people whose data are used must be informed. To this end, tools such as informed consent have been developed. However, the efficacy of these tools is challenged in the era of big data because algorithms can infer new information not explicitly treated, for example, in traditional informed consents. Let's continue with the application of machine learning algorithms to medical contexts. These algorithms are trained on large data sets. For example, to develop an algorithm to diagnose breast cancer from a clinical image, researchers train the algorithm with several images of breast cancer and other ones without cancer, so that the algorithm can learn which colors, forms, contrasts are correlated to a positive diagnosis and which are not. In the end, the algorithm learns some rules that will be applied to new clinical cases. To be effective, the training data should be representative enough of the population on which they will be used. However, it is well known that biomedical data are mostly representative of male Caucasian adults from North America and Europe. This is a serious problem. The risks are to further damage groups that are already disadvantaged and underrepresented, and so to violate the principle of justice. Let's consider now the problem of the transparency of the AI algorithms in medicine. Machine learning algorithms learn statistical correlations between a given number of variables and a prediction. These algorithms do not know why the learning parameters are relevant, and neither the programmer does. In other words, only correlations between parameters can be discovered, but not a relation of causation between them. Moreover, not even the programmer can know, in most of the cases, which rules are learned by the algorithm. This is the reason why the algorithms are labeled as black box. They are not transparent, even if they can be very accurate. The lack of transparency raises issues when AI tools are applied in medicine. For example, is the adoption of such tools compatible with one of the duties of a medical doctor who should act having knowledge of the tools and approaches adopted? Moreover, does the doctor have any duty to inform the patients about the use of an algorithm whose functioning cannot be fully explained? Does this lack of transparency impact on responsibility, not only from a moral but also from a legal point of view? Notwithstanding the adoption of the European General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, that prescribes that patients have the right to refuse fully automated decisions, the debate on these issues is still very open. For example, no concrete recommendations have been produced for the ethical use of black box algorithms in the medical context. So far, most guidelines and principles still lie at a very abstract level. Some important agencies, such as the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development and the World Health Organization, have provided more specific recommendations. Not only has privacy to be protected, but also negative consequences from the adoption of AI tools in medicine should be minimized. Moreover, digital solutions should be seen as supporting traditional clinical practices rather than substituting them. And finally, human control over these medical activities should be always guaranteed. In conclusion, digital medicine is already revolutionizing medical practice and the conception of medicine. AI-powered tools seem promising to deal with the increasing amount of medical data. Their capacity of prediction and classification are stressed, even if causal explanation is often dismissed. The contraposition between prediction and explainability, or in other words, between correlation and causation, is still open. This tells us that the future of digital medicine should be strictly connected to the view of medicine as a shared social practice, where the rights of the patients have to be protected from both a clinical and an ethical point of view.